Okay. So we start with first question. أول question هو نشوف math. أول سؤال يقول the elevation of a tower from 2 points, one due east and of the tower and the other due west of the tower are 20 and 24 شو اسمه degrees respectively. فلو نسوي بس north, east, west, south. زين. فيقول لنا and the 2 points of observation are 300 meter apart. Find the height of the tower to the nearest meter. أول شيء draw a neat line diagram وبعدين determine the height in 3 decimal places. فشو اللي عندنا ال angles. زين the elevation of a tower from 2 points, one due east and one due tower. angle of elevation شو معناته؟ معناته إذا عندنا هذا التاور زين يكون عندنا elevation هني، يكون عندنا elevation كذي زين، بيكون عندنا elevation من هالصوب مكان مثلا كذي. اوكي، هاي الجراوند مالنا. This is our ground. زين، فعندنا هاي الانجل from the west شو كان مكتوب one due east of the tower and one due west. وتشوفوا هو من ناحية east to west لا تتلخبطون وايد، it will be the same answer. من ناحية east to west هو على حسب إذا أنتوا you're looking at the building from the back or the front، ف it doesn't matter أصلا إذا اخترتوا هذا east ولا west. So I'll just follow the question. One due east of the tower and the other due west. فال east of the tower زين due east يعني looking into east يعني looking towards the east يعني looking this way زين 20 degrees، فهذا 20 degrees. اوكي، و one due west looking west زين is 24 degrees. إذا عكست الديجريز it's not going to be a big issue، الحل بيطلع نفس الشيء في النهاية. و there is they are 300 meters apart زين، فلا تنسون this is our tower. This is our tower زين. Let's call this T مثلا point T for the tower. Okay, let's call this point A, let's call this point B زين point B, and let's call this point C. Okay, point A B C بس عشان when we are doing the triangle relations يكون شوي واضح. Okay, we'll call this point B، بحط ال B هني زين. Now we know that this is 300 meters apart اللي هو the 2 points of observation are 300 meters apart. ف AC يعني من هني لين هني 300 meters، هاي الديستنس كامل زين. let me just move this a bit lower لأن بعدين we will have to define the specific distances. فهاي distance كامل 300 meters. Okay, now first thing draw the neat line diagram for the problem. This is it simply زين. حطيت distances، I defined كل هذا and we need to define the variable. let's call the tower height h. Okay, this is the height of the tower زين, and let's call يعني one of these distances we'll call x زين. ان AB يا ABX يا BC is equal to x. let's call ABX. okay, it doesn't matter which one. لو تتذكرون شو قلت إذا واحد منهم x خلينا نقول هاي مثلا y is simply 300 minus x. ليش؟ لأن لازم x plus y يساوي 300. it's the total distance صح ولا لا؟ ف y is just going to be equal to 300 minus x. زين. So I'm just identifying the variables اللي بيكون عندي عشان we solve these two triangles. They're both right triangles لأن this is a right angle here or this is a right angle here. زين. They're right angles. For right angle triangles, very straightforward, very simple to solve. Now first, let us look at مثلا triangle ATB. زين. triangle ATB عندنا 20 degrees. شو angles that we're going to be dealing with? We're going to be dealing with the X and the H. زين. we can say this is H in this case. H هني is opposite وال X is the adjacent. So opposite adjacent is tan. So tan 20 degrees is equal to opposite, which is H, over adjacent, which is x. حلو. I know we have two variables, but we have to solve it this way. So this is our first equation. حق الفيرست triangle اللي هو ATB. زين. triangle ATB. إذا رحنا الحين حق السكند one، حق السكند triangle، السكند triangle شو اللي عندنا؟ triangle CBT أو CTB. زين CTB. tan of 24 degrees is equal to opposite, which is h, over adjacent, which is y. أو نقدر straightforward نقول h over 300 minus x. There are many different ways of solving this. Many different ways you can solve this. زين. The easiest way يعني for me to solve it is just substituting, simple substitution. What do I mean by that? In الحين h زين I will make these equations in terms of h زين عشان I equate them and then I solve. Another way you can do it is dividing the entire equation, بس وايد ناس تتعقد من هالشيء, so I will not do that. So let's do it. This is equation 2. Equation 1, let's equate it to x. h is equal to tan 20 degrees times x. Oh, a better way of writing it is simply just saying x tan 20. Okay. 20. The second equation, هاي first equation. The second equation, and then the same thing. I will just put h by itself on one side is equal to 300 minus x times tan of 24. All right. I'm not sure بصراحة كيف حلوه في السولوشن يعني, بس this is how I solve it usually. ف h is equal to x tan 20 و h is equal to 300. Since h has to be equal to h, we can simply say 1 and 2 بيعطونا إن x tan 20 degrees is equal to 300 minus x tan 24. زين. خلينا نطلع tan 20 و tan 24 من الحين في الكالكوليتر بس على السريع. 1 tan 20 is equal to 0.364x is equal to 300 minus x tan 24, which is 0.445. اوكي. نوزع بس اللي على اليمين. فاليسار بيتم 364x, اليمين نوزعهم 300 times 0.445 يساوي تقريبا 133.569 minus, لأن في minus x times 0.445 is just so 0.445x. اوكي. نودي الاكس كلها صوب واحد. زين. 0.364x plus 0.445x is going to be equal to 133.569. When we just add these 0.445 plus 0.364, it's equal to 0.809x is equal to 133.569. زين. والx بس بيساوي بنقسم both sides by 0.809. زين. هني بيتكنسل, فالx يساوي 133.569 divided by 0.809, which is 165.104 meters. Now, don't forget, this is x. احنا ما نبغى نحصل x, احنا نبغى نحصل ال h. فوين بنعوضه؟ بنعوضه in any of these equations, either equation 1, equation 2. Equation 1 is simpler لأن بس عندنا h over x. So h we know is equal to x tan 20. So in other words, we can say h is equal to equation 1 again is equal to 165.104 times tan 20. H is equal to, multiply this by tan 20, 60.093 في حالتي أنا طلعت. أظني المفروض الأنسر يكون exactly 60, بس لأن أنا التان 20 يعني I simplified it to the. So yeah, and that's it. That's basically it. We found our height, 60.93 meters, and simple, easy. انزين I will recap very quickly شو سوينا. To draw this, then first it says there is a tower due one due east of the tower and the other is due west, and their angles is 20 and 24. It's talking about the elevation of the tower from 2 points. فعندنا angle of elevation which is with the horizontal straight, angle of elevation due east لأنه you're looking at east, and then it's 20 degrees لأنه it's 20 degrees, or due to west it's 24 degrees, so when you're looking at west 24 degrees. Again الانجلز if you are confused which one is east which one is west ما فرقت اذا حطيتوا واحد يسار واحد يمين او عكستوهم الجواب بيكون نفس الشيء. زين so don't worry too much about that, بس this is how I interpret due east to due west. ف بس بكتب هاي E وهاي W، فديو east due west عشان تجي هني 20 و 24 degrees، وعندنا التاور مالنا so the angle of elevation to the top of the tower that's what it says, angle of elevation due to the of the tower from the 2 points is equal to that, and the 2 points of observation are 300 meters apart, so the total distance from here, the total distance بين هني زين it's equal to 300 meters. Okay, so this is 300 meters. Now I just put these values in, and the variables T, A, B is just the points. T, A, B, C, these are the points I chose. H is the height of the tower. Or X, I define this part اللي هو A, B as X. ونفس السؤال اللي قبل اللي شفناه B, C will be 300 minus X, or Y is equal to 300 minus X. ليش؟ لأن X plus Y they have to equal to 300, so Y is simply 300 minus X. Now we're going to look at each triangle separately وبنشوف الفاريبلز اللي عندنا إياهم. فعندنا H و X, this is opposite to angle 20 and this is adjacent to angle 20, so tan 20 is opposite over adjacent, which is height over X. Same thing with CTB, this triangle, the right side triangle, opposite of 24 is H, adjacent of 24 is Y, so H tan 24 is H over Y, or we know that Y is simply 300 minus X. برد بكتب هالايكويشنز in terms of x because it just makes it simpler, or you can do it in terms of h بعد يعني it doesn't matter which one you do. I like doing it this way and the math is just quicker for me. فسويت h is equal to x tan 20 or 300 minus x times tan 24 is equal to h بعد من equation 2. I equate these two equations, then h is equal to h, so x tan 20 is equal to 300 minus x tan 24. I just did the solution here solving this equation. I found x. Once I found x عوضت in either equation 1 or equation 2 على راحتكم تعوضون أي مكان. زين أنا عوضت في equation 1 عشان أحصل ال h and I found my answer. Very straightforward, very simple. نروح للgraphing of the second question. Any questions so far؟ المفروض هاي يعني straightforward, it's very simple. زين. Using the graphical approach. زين. Using graphical approach بما معناه we're going to have to graph this. زين. Determine the values of x and y which simultaneously satisfy these equations. بما معناه we need to find the solution إذا سوينا solving of these simultaneous equations بيكون عندنا points of intersection. But we need to do it graphically. How do we do it graphically? I will try my best عشان أكون accurate. إنزين. Before that we have to know how to plot. إنزين. So to plot y. Now we'll start with the linear equation, which is simpler to plot. Linear equation. So it's y is equal to 3x minus 4. First step, we find the y-intercept. شو يعني y-intercept? Y-intercept means when x is equal to 0. Therefore, y will be equal to 3 times 0 minus 4. معناته this goes to 0. هاي ما له داعي منه، ما اعرف ليش حطيته هني parentheses. ف y is equal to minus 4. Okay, this is our first point, which is 0 minus 4. Second point, I will take either the عادة I say take the x-intercept، لكن هني x-intercept means when y is equal to 0. فالمشكلة لو خذيت x-intercept بيعطيني fraction. So what will I do? I'll just take x equal 1 as my second point for the equation. So y is equal to 3. يعني y when x equal to 1. So 1 minus 4. y is equal to 3 minus 4, which is minus 1. So our second point is minus 1. Sorry, 1 minus 1. X is 1 and Y is minus 1. تمام. To plot a linear equation, you only need 2 points, so we can start the plotting. But I'll leave the plotting to the end. بس حصلنا 2 points and then we will plot. زين. Now for the quadratic equation. الquadratic عندنا 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. So 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. All right? Now, same exact first two steps. We need 2 points اللي هم intercepts. Here you have to find the intercepts, okay? So this equation is actually y is equal to 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. So y-intercept is x equals 0, implies yom y is equal to 2, x is 0 squared, minus 4 times 0, minus 8. This is 0, this is 0. For y is equal to simply minus 8. We got our first point, which is 0, or our intercept بلا صح, which is 0 minus 8. All right? Second step. شنو second step? The second step, x intercepts. We need to find both x intercepts or one or what, depending on the type of equation. We can either have no intercepts, we can either have one intercept, or we can have two intercepts, and we will find that out now. What does x-intercept mean? Y is equal to 0. بما معناه 0 is equal to 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. بيطلع لنا x1 و x2 because this is a quadratic equation. The a value is 2, the b value is minus 4, c value is minus 8. Mod 5, 3, 2, 4, oh sorry, minus 4, minus 8. يطلع لنا x1 is equal to 3.236 تقريبا. زين. والx2 يطلع لنا 3 دقيقة minus 1.236. I know these points are difficult to plot, but all you need to know and the points have to go through these. Then third step is finding axis of symmetry and your turning points. Then I'm combining steps 3 and 4. Usually they're separate steps, but I do them once. What does this mean? معناته we have to find the values when x is equal to minus b over 2a اللي هو بما معناه minus شنو البي عندنا minus 4 over 2 times 2 which is equal to minus و minus is 3 plus فعندنا 4 over 4 which is equal to 1. All right. So that's perfect لأن احنا already طلعناه. لا ما طلعناه, sorry أنا غلطان. So الحين شو اللي بنسوي عشان نحصل turning point at this x value when x equal to 1. When x is equal to 1, we will find the y value of the equation اللي هو this equation over here. نفس equation. زين. This is the same exact equation. So we will substitute just x equal 1 in this equation. فبيصير 2 into 1 squared minus 4 into 1 minus 8. Hello? Now, x is equal to, y is going to be equal to 2. 1 squared is just 1. So 2 times 1, which is 2, minus 4, minus 8. Y is equal to 2 minus 4 minus 8 minus 4 and minus 8 is minus 12 plus 2, it's minus 10. All right? فعندنا ال turning point مالنا طلعناه which is 1 minus 10. Now what does the turning point mean? زين. Turning point إذا عندكم مثلا الجراف كذي. زين. Let's say this is your graph. The turning point is this point over here. This point over here. اللي at which point الجراف it changes directions, or the parabola in this case changes directions. So this is the axis of symmetry. هالpoint هني is مثلا in our case x equal 1. Okay. ليش استخدمنا b minus b over 2a? ال minus b over 2a it determines يعني this is basically the equation that determines وين ال axis of symmetry مالكم يكون, which is this one. اوكي هو شو معناته you can basically do x2 minus x1 over 2 you can simply do that and you will find it زين لانه هو middle point between the two x intercepts so an easier quick way of doing it is usually either using the equation minus b over 2a or you could just do from here زين if you want to find the axis of symmetry from here بتسوون x1 minus x2 over 2 عشان تطلعون السنتر وطبعا الساين مالكم you have to understand يعني ان اذا هذا positive وهذا negative بيكون النمبر يعني in between both of these فاذا طلع لكم النمبر a bit more negative you know يعني ان لا المفروض يكون positive لان النمبر the x point it has to be between x1 و x2 alright ففي هالحالة هني ال x1 is the positive number وال x2 is the negative number فبيطلع لنا another positive number which will be I think a bit larger فبيطلع لكم point which is here which is wrong فبتاخذون a negative version of that but it's a different case you will see that more clearly when I do the plotting either way this confuses some people a lot أنا نصيحتي دائما تستخدمون x is equal to minus b over 2a وتحفظونه and end of story زين هذا هو القانون حتى الناس اللي في الفاونديشن اللي درستهم math same exact thing they just follow this step and they plot تمام now حصلنا turning point حصلنا axis of symmetry like I said this is the turning point over here and then this will be our turning point if you want more details وليش وكل هالسوالف في الفيديو when I explain quadratics زين في المال foundation هناك I go much more in detail يعني بس على السريع just to show you the plot now high turning point high axis of symmetry one more point I just want to mention احنا هني في الquadratic equation نقدر we determine from this equation from point A ال A value مال equation اللي عندنا إياه نقدر we determine whether the parabola is going to be like this or is it's going to be downward. How do we know that? Or what is my technique? If you are positive, you are feeling happy. If you are negative, you are feeling sad. Face 2 عندكم sad face or happy face. إنزين? That's how I remember it. بصراحة ليلة اليوم كذي. فpositive it's going to be an upwards parabola. With the negative, it's downwards. In this case, our 2 is positive. So we know from now that the parabola has to be in this shape. Okay? So this is going to be the shape. Then this is how I remember it. Now, let's go into actually plotting this. أقول بسم الله and hopefully my plot will look kind of okay. Then, before plotting, لأنه we need to be very precise. My advice is we will first do a table. I don't know if that's what they do bad, but I will do a table. This table I will try to find يعني values, multiple values of this plot عشان I can just get a general idea of what the curve will look like. زين. How do we do that? We just draw a table and we put random values for for x sorry. زين. فمثلا هني بنقول ال x value مالنا وهني ال y value مالنا. زين. والايكويشن شو؟ الايكويشن هو quadratic equation, this quadratic equation, and we will solve. Now, هني I want to teach you a technique to save time. زين مثلا احنا اخترنا ال values from -5 او قولوا مثلا من -10 لين 10 اوكي فبيكون عندكم -10 -9 -8 -7 لين يستوي 0 في النص زين وبعدين الزيرو اوريدي عندنا اياه اللي هو الاكس انترسبت فنعرف ان الواي كان بيساوي -8 مثلا زين وبعدين هني 1 2 لين 9 10 okay how can you make a good table using your calculator كل حد معاي يبطل الكالكوليتر ماله الحين انزين I want to just teach you this most of you should know this I expect most of you to know this بس اللي ما يعرفه يبطل الكالكوليتر يروح مود instead of doing 5 this time you're gonna go mode 7 okay المفروض يطلع لكم في الكالكوليتر f of x now f of x اللي هو بما معناه ال y value مالكم انزين is equal to what انتم بتكتبون 2 alpha بتحطون ال x انزين alpha وتشوفون البراكت او البارنتسيز that closes انزين the closing parentheses هناك ال x انزين فبتضربون alpha حق ال x بعدين بتضربون power 2 لأن it's x squared minus 4x بعد مرة alpha closing parentheses x minus 8. Okay? minus 8. And then you will hit equal sign. بيطلع لكم start. الستارت فاليو مالكم ما هو الستارت فاليو. In this case we want to start مثلا from minus 10. You can choose any value يعني تقدرون تكبرونها as much as you want. But let's start from minus 10 ونضرب equal. بعدين بيستوي الاند. الاند مالنا بعد نبغى يكون positive 10 فبنضرب 10 وبنسوي equal. الحين this is an important thing الستep. الستep معناته how many يعني minus 10 plus how much plus how much plus how much عشان يعرف how he fills the table. فاحنا we will just leave it at 1 and it will become minus 10 minus 9 minus 8 لأنه we're adding بما معناه plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 وبنضرب equal. بتلاحظون يطلع لكم a full table of all the values. زين يعني من minus 10 all the way to 10. مفهوم أنا شو سويت في الكالكوليتر؟ Is it clear for everyone؟ طلع لكم اللي سوى اللي حاول يسوي. So what I got انزين مثلا انزين اذا بس ابغى اعدل هذا شوي. اوكي خلنا we actually just copy paste what we got the values from the calculator. زين ف for x is equal to minus 10 بنبدأ. زين minus 10 طلع لي 232 بلا 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 بلا. انا ببدأ من مثلا لان اشوف الارقام وايد كبيرة انا ببدأ بس من minus 2. اوكي ما بروح للماينس 10 ف let's start from minus 2 لأن I see the values are getting much larger after minus 3 وما بيكون ما عندنا enough space to plot ف let's go from minus 2. So minus 2 is giving me 8, minus 1 is giving me minus 2, 0 is giving me minus 8, 1 is giving me plus 10, minus 10, 2 is giving me minus 8 and that's ولا نروح لل3 بعد. ال3 يعطيني minus 2 نكمل ال4 مثلا يعطيني 8. زين and we'll stop here. Okay فعندي الحين a range of numbers to make the plot easier. هو to get the sketch you only require these 3 steps بس to properly plot a quadratic يعني يكون عندكم extra plots extra points عشان انه بس you can add them all together on the plot ويطلع neat. الحين نقول بسم الله ونسوي الplotting. I will try my best to stay within the grid lines عشان ان يكون الفاليوز حلوين ومترقمين عدل والسايزز يكون صح. I don't think we need this much x's. احنا من وين بدينا الاكسس؟ من minus 2. شنو largest number of x عندنا 1 اوكي او 4 اوكي so let's go يعني من هني for example. زين so I'm just gonna move my table a bit to the right عشان I do my calculations on the left. خليه كذي. Okay. So we know that this is our y-axis and this is our x-axis. I will do everything in red يخص a linear equation and everything I will do in green يخص الquadratic بس عشان ما تتلخبطون. زين let me reduce the thickness مال هذا. فاحنا شنو عندنا طلعنا points for a linear equation are 0 minus 4 1 and minus 1. Okay so these are our points حق linear equation, the 2 points. Okay so these are for the linear equation. زين this is linear equation. Okay هاي البوينتس اللي عندنا ف we'll just plot them 0 minus 4 1 2 3 minus 4 هني 0 minus 4 و 1 minus 1 ف 1 in x minus 1 in y. This is our second point and we draw a line. Very simple linear equation. Everyone should be able to plot a linear equation line. And then let me try my best to get it going through both those points. بعد شوي يباله كذي وحركة The reason I'm trying to be accurate is لأن يعني بعدين we want to see the exact intersection. Let me just zoom in a bit and make sure everything is okay. يباله شوي بعد rotation خفيف. زين. تقريبا كذي. Okay, let's say it's almost like this. تمام. So we found our high linear line مالنا in green. Now we will go plot our شو اسمه our شو يسمونه our quadratic equation. First thing we look at is the turning point لأن the turning point will give us a very good idea. فهو 1 minus 10. فبنروح هني 1 which is here زين minus 10 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. This is minus 10 over here. زين. So let me just extend this line a bit more. Okay, this is our minus 10. This point over here, it's 1 minus 10. So this is our turning point over here. زين. نعرف ان الحين الجراف it will go upwards, you know, in that direction. It will go like this and like this, then it was happy. So we know it's going to look like that. زين. Now we go back up here. ناخذ الحين another point. ناخذ مثلا ال y-intercept which was easier to plot. So 0 minus 8. We know that it will intercept at 0 minus 8. So this was minus 10, minus 9, minus 8. This is another point حق البارابولا. وال x-intercept like you can see it's wide decimals فصعب you plot. So we will just refer to our table. زين. Our table we have the first point minus 2 and 8. We will plot minus 2 and 8. So we will go to x minus 2. It will be plus 8, plus 8. So minus 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is one of the points. Okay? The second point was minus 1, minus 2. X minus 1, minus 2. So it will be down actually. Minus 1, minus 2 هني. Then third point is 0 minus 8, which is our intercept, which we already have. Fourth point is 1 minus 10. 1 minus 10 is our turning point, which we already have. 1 minus 10. 2 minus 8. ف2 زين x equal to 2. نروح للماينس 8 اللي هو هني. Okay. 3 minus 2. نروح لل 1 2 3 minus 2 which is here. And then 4 8. So 4 8 is going to be somewhere here. Okay, which على حظنا بعد is intersecting. And then we will try our best. طبعا الحين it will look horrible لأن I'm doing it يعني على شو اسمه digitally ما قاعد أسويه على. You know what? I will try to do my best to go step by step. زين بنبدأ من turning point because it's easier to do this. بعدين من هني لين هني تقريبا بيكون كذي. I want to get the intersection just right. تقريبا يعني. زين. It's a bit worse actually. المفروض يكون هذا almost كذي هني. It will go up like right through here. تقريبا through here it should go up. فبيكون تقريبا كذي. زين. It's not a straight line obviously. وبعدين نكملها فوق. نفس الشيء بنسويه هني. نكملها لفوق. It's a parabola فحتى ويا ruler يعني it's not gonna work لأن it has to be a bit curved. It's not a straight line unfortunately. إنزين. So الحين نكمل. الحين we finished our plot. Now مثل ما تلاحظون we have two important points. We have this point of intersection here and we have this point of intersection right here. Okay. لو تلاحظون this point of intersection جاي بالضبط في النص. زين. فياي يعني هني الاكس coordinate ماله وهني الواي coordinate ماله. زين. هني we have x is equal to minus 0.5. So this is minus 0.5. وهني y is equal to minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 5.5. Okay. هني we already know this point which is 1 2 3 4 الx value ماله is 4 زين x value ماله is 4 and the y value ماله is 8. Okay, so that's our answer. So what is our final solution? Our final solution is x our first point, our point of intersection, our solution. زين solution is equal to x y1 اللي هو x1 y1 اللي هو 4 8 و minus 0.5 and minus 5.5 and that's it. Okay, طبعا like I said again with pen and paper or pencil بيكون وايد اسهل you graph this عشان you make sure you have a pencil because if you have to do graphical method you can just do it that way. To be safe, what can you do? You can solve the simultaneous equations, these simultaneous equations, to make sure you get the exact values of x and y عشان بعدين في البلوت يوم تشوفونه تعرفون انه هذا صح جاي بالضبط في النص بعدين you can draw the plot accordingly to be safe just to double check. زين بس this is how you're supposed to plot graphically value البارابولا قصدي ويا linear and find the intersection points أو solution of the thing. ممكن تشرح شلون سويت البلوت ما فهمت. إنزين. Linear plot, I'm pretty sure everyone understood. You just take the 2 points we found from x and y intercept or x equal 1y. We just take 2 points from the equation and you plot them, straight line through them. That's done. هني the first points you will plot are your intercepts for the quadratic اللي هو البارابولا. The first points you will plot are your intercepts if you have them و turning point عشان تعرفون وين البداية بتكون وين it will cross y والx axis. turning point we found it to be 1 minus 10. This is our turning point. Okay? But we found our turning point مثل ما قلت لكم الستبس اللي هو قبل. This is our turning point. The turning point is where the graph will change its direction بما معنى. So this is our turning point. فهو first thing we put a marker on where our turning point should be عشان يكون عندنا فكرة where يعني البارابولا will change direction. Next, يعني this is the first step. Second, intercepts. في حالتنا احنا حطينا بس الواي intercept لأن it is an easy number to plot. يوم طلعناه it's 0 minus 8. it is يعني ما في decimal ما decimal so it's easy to put on a plot. فالواي intercept طلعناه 0 minus 8 و we can double check ان الاكس intercept مالنا بعد صح يعني هني احنا عندنا الاكس intercepts. These are our x-intercepts. This is تقريبا minus 1 point something وهني 1 2 3 3 point something. فلو نروح نشوف الاكس intercept minus 1.2 حلو 3.2 perfect يعني it is almost صح. انزين these are our x-intercepts. So بس from ناحية الplotting we will just put the y-intercept because it's easier in the first step. Third, table values. You will plot the points. كل البوينتس اللي طلعتوهم في التيبل you will start plotting them. فعندكم minus 2 يطلع 8 minus 2 you will go to x minus 2 where is minus 2 minus 2 is over here 8 is up 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 you will put an x زين يعني a marker whichever a dot an x اللي يريحكم. We'll go to the next point minus 1 and minus 2. So we go to minus 1 in x and then minus 2 in y. So minus 1 minus 2 هني we put a marker and so on and so forth. You do for the remaining numbers. You put your markers all over زين and then you draw your plot يعني بدقة تحاولون تسوونه عشان انه يكون curved and going through all these points properly. تمام انا طبعا it didn't look out very neatly بس close enough. These are the steps to do the plotting. And then you find the intersection points when يكون في intersection and that's your solution. To check, solve simultaneous equations. زين solve your simultaneous equations يعني سووا هني زين equation 1 is y equal 3x minus 4. This is equation 1 وبعدين y is equal to 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. This is 2 زين and then start solving your simultaneous equation. بيطلع لكم ال x1 y1 value و x2 y2 value, والمفروض it is exactly the same as the points you will find here as your solution. Okay, so this is just to check. This is for checking purposes. زين, to check. I will just repeat very quickly. Linear equation تحصلون y-intercept, x-intercept or any other point. إنزين, that will make it easier so you don't have fractions. فأنا اخترت ال y-intercept لأنه when x equals 0 بيطلع لي -4. وبعدين I chose a random point which is x equal 1 لأن I know when I solve it I'll get y equal -1. إنزين, you can do يعني the table method that I taught you in the calculator بعد if you want to choose better numbers or whatever. على راحتكم, but it should be very straightforward. Quadratic, first two steps is finding your y and x-intercepts. Once you find your y-intercept and your x-intercept, it will give you a better idea. You can skip the x-intercept step إذا حابين, بس it will give you a better idea when you're drawing the graph. تعرفون إذا صح الجراف مالكم ولا لا. So just find your y وال x-intercepts عشان you can get some points. And then the most important point is finding your turning points or your axis of symmetry as well. And then, how do you do that? You use this equation, x is equal to minus b over 2a. And then, when you use this equation, b will 2a is obviously the b and a from your quadratic equation نفسهم. بيطلع لكم ال value 1 حق ال x, for example here when you solve it. This value for x you will substitute back into the main equation y. وبتطلعون ال turning points مالكم, but you will solve for y, it's -10. So this is your turning point. A turning point is the point where the curve changes direction. Okay, then you can just do your table so you can get multiple different points, and then you can start plotting. Can we directly do the table then start plotting? You can directly تقدرون تبدون سيدة في التable. There's nothing wrong with that. لكن these steps just make it easier and clear. فأنا نصيحتي تسوون these steps and then it doesn't take that much time at all مثل ما شفتوا هاي less than 2 minutes it took me to do all of this. ولكن if you like to just do table حاسين ان عمركم فاهمين وسهل, سووا كل البوينتس على هني, بس make sure you know where your turning point is. زين, بيكون طبعا واضح يعني when you're plotting بتشوفون هني x هني x هني x هني x كذي, بس make sure ان هذا this is actually your turning point. Double check to make sure. زين, لان you need to know when your graph is going to turn. This is the most important point. الانترسبتس وكل هذا يعني you can find it through a table, that's fine. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But this, if it's very confusing, follow these steps to make it easier for you. And that's pretty much it. You find all your points. حصلت table, you start plotting all your points like I said earlier. You plot, I will show your linear equation and it's simpler. But then you plot this on top of it. You find where the 2 points intersect. Those are your points, which is your solution. And then solve the simultaneous equations if you have the time to double check the solution. All right, and done. And plotting the quadratic, first step is plotting your turning point عشان تعرفون وين بيتغير. Second step is your intercepts if you have them, as you will know where it will intersect with the x will y. Or third step, you just put table values. How did I find minus 0.5 and 5.5? أنا when I looked here, when I zoomed in a little bit, إنزين أنا لاحظت هني ال point of intersection. إنزين إذا بس أمسح ال x point الكبير اللي سويته, it's almost right in the center. يعني this is just my assumption. Okay, عشان شي أقول سووا ال simultaneous. إنزين I don't think they will يعني deduct marks إذا أنتوا شفتوا حسيتوا this is 5.4 مثلا. ليش؟ لأن this is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and this point is between -5 and -6 وتقريبا جاي في النص ال point of intersection. اوكي, لأنه جاي تقريبا في النص هني, لو تشوفون تقريبا جاي في النص هني, أنا I assumed it's only halfway the distance between 5 and 6, which is -5.5. نفس الشيء سويت حق الX. الX تقريبا تقدرون تقولون جاي في النص من الX. زين, جاي في النص من عند الX. فلأنه جاي في النص بين يعني right in the middle between 0 and -1, I said it is almost -0.5 and I took this as my solution. عشان you have to try to be as accurate as you can in plotting عشان when you see the intersection it's going to be very clear, and at the same time solve the simultaneous equations to double check ال 4 وال -5. All right. To check, let's do the check super quickly. ما يبغى له شيء لأنه and I will use substitution method. زين, to solve these simultaneous equations. This is just again I repeat to check. Okay, بنقدر نقول if we do 1 and 2 substitution, they are both y, so 2x squared minus 4x minus 8 is equal to 3x minus 4. Y is equal to y, so this has to be equal to this. Simplify it, it's going to be 2x squared minus 4 minus 3 is minus 7x, minus 8 plus 4 is minus 4, equal to 0. And then x1, x2, what are they equal to? نحصل ال A is equal to 2, B is equal to minus 7, and C is equal to minus 4. Quickly put mod 5, 3, 2, minus 7, minus 4. Solution x1 is equal to 4. With solution x2 is equal to minus half, which is minus 0.5. So we can already see من ال x values بس إن ال x values مالنا صح, and then one of them is 4 and one of them is minus 0.5. Okay, now to find the y values, زين, to find the y values you substitute back in one of these equations. فlet's say يعني for x1, زين, y أول شيء equal 3x minus 4. You will do this twice, one for x1, one for xy. So when x is equal to 4, y is going to be equal to 3 times 4 minus 4 اللي هو 12 minus 4, which is equal to 8. بعدين when x is equal to 0 minus 0.5, y is equal to 3 times minus 0.5 minus 4. 3 times minus 0.5 is equal to, يعني this is y is equal to minus 1.5 minus 4. 1.5 minus 1.5 minus 1.4 is equal to minus 5.5. So yes, so what are our points? X هني, this is 4, 8, and this is minus 0.5 minus 5.5, which is exactly the same points that we got during our plotting of the simultaneous equation. All right. And then, how did I find? So what we need to get the question mark, the tables, the 2 points and the graph. يعني قصدك العلامات. If you're talking about the marks, I'm not sure how they mark them. I cannot tell you بصراحة. But if I was the one doing the marking, if I was the one doing the marking, and I will mark on the table, and then you have multiple different points, I will mark on you finding a linear equation, points ماله, what points you used. يعني you can do a table or do the XY intercept method, either way. إنزين, يعني do a small table مثلا XY 0 1 مثلا, and that's it. أو 0 1. يعني 2 points are enough for me, but I'm not sure if they want more or not. مو متأكد كيف الامتحان. إنزين. وبعدين البلوت نفسها I will grade you for يعني how your plot is, how كيف مرتب, كيف حطيت البوينتس if they're in the right يعني places, يعني ما خربط فيهم, ونفس الوقت on how you found the 2 points on the graph. That's how I would mark it يعني if I was a teacher, but I'm not sure how the actual marking scheme is. All right, any questions? This should be simple now. زين, straightforward. Question 3 I will skip. زين, question 3 I will skip. Question 3 لأن it's solving a system of linear equations. You know how to do this already, so I'll just move to question 4 عن time بس. Substitution or elimination, whatever. If you notice, this is plus z. I think this is the exact same question we already solved يعني in the previous exam. So same exact method. It doesn't mention which method you should use. You can use whatever method you want. فعلى راحتكم. Question 4. رجع ربيعكم الإي. Very straightforward, super duper easy. أول شيء يقول لكم solve the equation, بس make sure it's up to 4 decimal places. برد أكتب الإيكويشن EX minus 1 is equal to 2E 3X minus 4. First step when you see E وما عندكم يعني any other constants وما أدري شو, you just do the ln. If you have E on both sides, you just do ln directly. So ln of this و ln of this. ليش؟ لأن ln cancels the E. Now, on the left side, it stays the same. Let's keep it like this for now. بعدين بوصل له. On the right side, عندكم it's 2 times E. صح ولا لا? So separate them. So do ln of 2. How do we separate in ln? Remember, ln is just log base E. So كل القوانين من log تطبق عليها. If it's multiplication inside, it becomes addition outside. ln of E 3x minus 4. الحين سؤالكم ليش? Why did we separate it? The next step will show you. The ln of E is like saying the log 10 of 10. لأن this is base E. This is basically saying log E base E to a specific power. For example, 2. Log E base E to the power of 2. الجواب is simply 2. log E power X الجواب is simply X. فنفس الشيء هني. That's why log E is simply, this is the same as saying ln E squared. This is simply saying ln E to the power of X. It's the same thing. Okay? Natural logarithm. فالln of E X minus 1 is simply X minus 1 equals ln of 2, you could just put it in the calculator and find the number of that, plus ln of E, again, 3x minus 4. Done. And now we can solve your equation. Super simple, super easy. We did nothing. Okay? We did nothing. انزين x minus 1 الحين بس نودي ال x's all to one side. We'll take this to this side. It will become x minus 3x is equal to ln of 2 plus 1. خلينا نسوي just in order. Minus 4 plus 1. Okay, I just took the 1 to the other side. 3x هالصوب. Minus 2x is equal to ln 2 minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. X, if we divide just both sides by minus 2, x is simply equal to ln 2 minus 3 divided by minus 2. Put that in the calculator. x يطلع لكم المفروض mode 1 ln of 2 minus 3. تأكدوا minus 3 is outside of the ln, huh? Don't put it inside the ln. Divide by minus 2. أنا طلع لي جواب 1.153. All right? Very simple, very easy. Simple and easy. Another way of going from this step, زين. Another way of going from this step عشان بس ما تتعقدون وايد. تتذكرون القانون اللي قلت لكم إياه؟ إذا عندكم ln أو log, you could just take the power outside. صح ولا لا؟ زين. You could just take the power outside. فتقدرون تكتبونه كأنه كذي x minus 1 times ln of e is equal to ln of 2 plus 3x minus 4 times ln of e. زين. ln of e is what? It's 1. This is equal to 1. This is equal to 1. This is equal to 1. ln e base e to the power of 1. لا? So x minus 1 is equal to ln 2 plus 3x minus 4, and then you solve the exact same way. Any questions? Very straightforward, very simple. عشان نروح لآخر سؤال وتريحون شوي عشان بعدين you practice بعد من صوبكم. زين. Last question. Question 5. Question 5. شكله يخرع بس again super duper easy, nothing at all to worry about. هني تتذكروا حركة التيبل اللي علمتكم عليها، هني بتستفيدون منها بعد مرة في الكالكوليتر. But let's just read the question. The rate at which the inner walls of an IC engine cools is given by theta is equal to 240 E minus 0.055 T, where the excess temperature of the inner walls is surrounding is T in minutes. So we know that T is in minutes. Okay, this T over here, this T is in minutes. And we know that this theta over here, theta, is degrees Celsius. Okay? Now, من البداية, you should know what the graph of this looks like. This is in the form of a e power minus kt. زين؟ فتعرفون ان الجراف will look something like this. Don't panic too much إذا ما تتذكرون الجراف of this form. All you have to do is substitute, and this is y is equal to this, huh? All you have to substitute for t is 0 مثلا. e to the power of 0 is 1. So when this is 0, when x is 0, بنبدأ من هني. إذا نبدأ من هني, we know بنروح كذي. الجراف مالنا بيطلع كذي. Very simple. Now we're starting from a. This is a. When x is equal to 0. Simple. Just find when t is equal to 0 عشان you determine how it is. بس. Alright? عشان you get just the general idea. Now we know the graph is going to look something like this. Then this is in that form. Now, we know it's decaying because it's negative as well. Plot the graph showing the natural decay curve of the first hour of cooling. So first hour اللي هو بما معناه الرينج مالنا from 0 minutes to 60 minutes. تقدرون تاخذون انتم الحين تسوون التيبل مالكم ثيتا. خلينا نبدا تايم تي والثيتا هني. okay, and you will do the exact same thing I just showed you on the calculator, but now we already know our minimum and maximum, so it's going to be between 0 and 60. خلينا ناخذ مثلا every 5 points or every 10 points or whatever. زين, we can do any way we want it. I'll just do 10 points عشان for the time and it makes it simpler. I'll just repeat my steps. So الحين بروح f of x. I will write this equation down. 240 E is shift تحت عند الانسر كي بتشوفون times 10 to the power x. shift او مو بشيفت سوري الفا هناك بتشوفون E بالاحمر. that's your E to the power of minus 0.05 بدال ما تحطون T بتحطون X. زين, that's the only thing. You put X instead of your T. فبعيد, you put 240 E is basically alpha pi where your pi is in the calculator or where 10 times 10 to the power x هني. هذا نفسه يوم تسوون alpha that يعطيكم ال E to the power of minus 0.055 T. Instead of T you will put X in the calculator. تضربون equal. What is our starting point this time? 0. You will put 0. What is your end time? 60. Now الستep هني we don't want every 1 minute لأنه بيطلع لنا 60 points. احنا ما نبغى 60 values. We just want to get an estimation or whatever. فهني الستep نقدر نقول every 5 minutes مثلا. فيعني 0 5 10 20 15 20 كذي أو أنا in my case I will put a step of 10 اللي هو 0 10 20 30 40 50 60. فبيطلع لي هني 10 20 30 40 50 و60. انزين, يفضل انتم تسوون ال5 and then you just decide يعني which points you want to put on the table. بس انا عن طريق عن يعني التايم بس. اوكي, 30 40 ليش قاعد اكتب هني 30 40 50 60. فعشان تكتبون هذا شنو الستep from 0 to 10 it's plus 10. لا, فبلس 10 that's your step basically. تضربون 10 في الكالكوليتر equal وبيطلع لكم التيبل. فانا اول 0 value مالي طلع لي كم؟ 240, which makes sense لأن zero value مالنا لازم يساوي A, which is 240. So this is 240. Next, 10 value طلع لي 138.46. Next, 20 value 79.889. Next, 30 طلع لي 46.091. Next, 26.592. Next, 15.342. Next, 60, which is 8.852. All right, these are the numbers I got from the calculator. زين. Abdullah, please round properly. زين. This is 8.8519, so if you round it properly, it's going to be 8.852, not 8.851. المهم, moving on. Now we can just do our plot. فالplot مالنا زين, if we do a straight line to the زين, our plot بس احطه neatly هني something like this. زين, our plot هني this is our y value or in this case our theta وهني time مالنا and we know our time is 10. Let's go like this. زين, every 3 is 1 10 20 30 40 50 and 60. So we just need to know the graph until this point. Okay, until the 60 from 0 to 60 وهني 0 طبعا. الحين الاكس axis مالكم you will do it depending on يعني your largest value. فحاولوا تكبرونه قد ما تقدرون. أنا I will do that right now really quickly. and I will just drag this a bit down. زين, خلينا نحطه هني. زين, وهذا it will be a bit longer. I'm just doing this عشان it can be easier to put numbers يعني as much as I can. زين, so this is our theta again. Let's say for example مثلا هني 240. okay, هني 240. انزين بمعناته 10 20 30 40 50 60 70 80 90 20 sorry 10 انزين this is 100 قصدي انزين so again 0 10 20 30 40 50 60 70 80 90 20 90 100 ما ادري ليش قاعد اقول 20 so this is our 100 mark بيكون شوي اطول فخلنا نطوله بس احتياط انزين عشان I want to be a bit more accurate so you guys can just see how it will look like 10 20 30 40 50 60 70 80 90 200 زين so this is our 200 mark ويوصل ل 240 so 210 220 230 240 so it's up till here زين and this is our 240 mark okay so each block is basically 10 I will zoom out just a little bit عشان the whole thing can show alright شنو التيبل مالنا؟ التيبل مالنا first point is 0 to 40 which makes sense. أول point عندنا is 0 to 40. Okay. ثاني point is 10 138.46. ف 10 is here this line. كم 138 ف 100 110 120 130 قولوا تقريبا هني هاي 140 a little bit under it so it's going to be somewhere around here almost زين approximation يعني 138 يلا ولا تزعلون خلينا نقول 140 تقريبا we're just gonna round it up and say 140 so 110 120 130 140 أظني هني كان لا اللي قبل هني okay so just plotting the points next point 20 80 قولوا زين so this is 100 90 80 بنروح لل 20 our second لا next point شوفوا لو بتاخذون every 5 بعد in between it will make it easier لأنه you'll plot a point here, plot a point here, here, so it will make it a bit easier بس أنا I'm just doing it quickly عن الوقت يعني 30 46 فقولوا تقريبا 45 for 30 for 30 10 20 30 45 coming right in the middle فهني 30 45 is somewhere here أول 46 40 و 26.5 يعني قولوا تقريبا 27 ال 40 هاي 10 27 say somewhere around about here زين نفس الشيء 50 and 15 this is 10 15 بيكون is the midpoint هني وآخر point 8.852 اللي هو 60 8.852 اللي بيكون شوي تحت ال 10 and now we have our curve اوكي مو لازم ترسمونه كامل ترسمونه بس لين يعني the easiest way to do it is draw until one point stop then from that point continue the drawing and try to your best to make it a curve and طبعا it looks horrible بس زين and it has to go through all of the points and then it has to stop here actually زين I'll draw it one more time because I don't like the way it looks ضبط ما ضبط زين so I'm gonna go through all the points and stop at this زين that's it very simple you drew your graph this is decay الحين ليش decay this is a good place to explain why it's decaying فعندنا أول point is 240 ثاني point هني زين which was تقريبا 138 وهني عندنا هالpoint which is 79 شو قصدهم الحين بالديكي لو تلاحظون هني distance from here to here is large من 240 ل 138 بس بعدين قاعد يقل وبعد الحين يوم نروح للبوينت اللي بعده بيقل زيادة يعني this was at 30 46.09 so 47 قولوا تقريبا زين so it's decreasing تشوفون الرينج هني زين يعني من 240 لل 138 الديفرنس ماله it's decreasing and decreasing this is why they call it decay لأن الX value مالنا is increasing relatively the same value يعني equally increasing 10 20 30 40 بس ال y أو هني in this case the degree Celsius it's decreasing logarithmically زين so this is what they call decay if that makes sense now يعني الحين وضحت المعلومة وتشوفون هني الديكريس بعد يكون أقل وأقل that's why it's called decay Now we've plotted and we're done with the first question. Plot the graph showing the natural decay curve for the first hour from 0 to 60 minutes. Hello, done, simple. Question 2. Determine the temperature of the inner wall after 28 minutes. Super easy. So this was part 1. This is شو بسميهم 1 2 3. So this was 1. This was 1. زين. This is 2. ما خليها احلها هنا تحت. زين. This is part 2. يقول لكم temperature inner wall after 28 minutes. فمعطينا التايم. معطينا التايم is equal to 28 minutes. شو بنسوي؟ بنعوض. End of story. خلصنا. ناخذ هذا الايكويشن. زين. اذا انتم للحين عندكم في الكالكوليتر التيبل مالكم شو تقدرون تسوون؟ ضربوا AC بتشوفون للحين الايكويشن the same one is there. تقدرون تسوون equal start value مالكم 28 end value مالكم حطوا بعد 28 and one step وبس. فبيطلع لكم 28 ال f of x الجواب زين theta is equal to او theta is equal to 51.451 degrees Celsius بس. Okay, or you can just plug it in into T 28 فيعني this will obviously be plugged in into this زين and you will solve. Question 3 نفس الايكويشن بنرد نستخدمه ولكن الحين شو يقولون؟ عطونا التمبرتشر find the time. So the temperature is 185 degrees Celsius. 185 degrees Celsius. So we just substitute this into here. زين 185 is equal to 240 E minus 0.055 T. First step, let's put E by itself on the right side. So we will divide both sides by 240. انزين بيطلع لنا 185 divided by 240 37 over 48 or 0.771 is equal to 240 and 240 cancel is equal to E to the power of minus 0.055 T. زين we'll just do the ln of both sides, the ln of 0.771 which I think الحين كلكم المفروض خلاص تعرفون كيف تسوونه. ln of e to the power minus 0.055 t. زين ln of 0.771 is going to be equal to, we could just simply take this. زين we can simply just take this outside. Okay, so it's equal to minus 0.055 t ln e. We know ln e is 1. Okay, so we could just remove it. Ln ln of 0.771 is equal to best minus 0.055 t. We will divide both sides by minus 0.055 minus 0.055 وحصلنا التايم is equal to, this will cancel out. بنسوي ln of 0.77 في الكالكوليتر ln of 0.771 divided by minus 0.055 and we are done. It's equal to 4.728 minutes. Any questions? I'm pretty sure هاي يعني وايد سهل فهمتوه. البلوتينج بعد I think it's very straightforward. السيشن هذا الحين I will, when I end the recording inshallah I will upload it to YouTube and you will be able to see it through the chat itself again. So yeah. Any other questions? Done. I will stop the recording now.